The first exercise is going to be an incline bench press on the Smith machine. Smith machines are especially good for beginners because they stabilize the bar movement, so you only focus on the pushing motion. First, you just want to make sure that the bench is in a good position and it is on a 30 to 45 degree angle to better target the upper part of your chest. Here I'm kind of telling him to have full contact with his feet to the ground so his body is in a balanced and stable position. When dropping the bar down, it should be resting on your middle to upper chest. If not, adjust the bench forward or backwards till that is the case. Here I'm kind of showing him how not to have his elbows during the bench press. They should neither be too much outward nor inward. The perfect position should be a 45 degree angle from your body. Now I'm talking about grip and tell him to go a little more than shoulder width so it kind of feels natural and it has a good feeling. Also, bringing out your chest, just gonna have your chest in a greater stretch, and arching your back slightly puts more focus on your chest and provides a little more stability. Now I kind of let him do the exercise and kind of remind him to have his feet on the ground. And here he's pushing his elbows out too much. He's almost like a 90 degrees angle. So I remind him to take those more inward in a 45 degree angle.
The joints that are primarily working in this exercise is the shoulder joint and the elbow joint. While the shoulder is primarily doing flexion, the component of horizontal adduction, and the elbow is doing extension. The agonists being our pectoralis major and our triceps bronchi. They eccentrically contract during the lowering phase, while they concentrically contract during the pressing phase or the upward motion. Our antagonist in incline bench press is our latissimus dorsi, the posterior deltoids, and the biceps bronchi. Synergists can be anterior deltoids and rotator cuffs. The plane of motion is primarily the sagittal plane, with the axis of rotation being the frontal axis. Here I am performing the testing part of the incline bench press. For the incline bench press, I selected a pectoralis major manual muscle test. So here I kind of demonstrate him the motion he has to go through. I tell him to flex his shoulder while he's laying down, kind of like a 90 degree angle, and then doing a horizontal adduction so his upper muscle fibers are contracting. So here I put my hand on his muscle and kind of feel the contraction. The grade 0 to 3 is he's just fighting against gravity, and now I'm kind of putting resistance on it. And grade 4 to 5 is basically doing this motion against my resistance, and he's passing this test here. The second exercise I selected is going to be skull crushers on a incline bench. So here I also make sure that the bench is on a 45 degree angle, and also it is very important for this exercise to just find a spotter who can kind of just hand you that weight from behind. When you sit down, you just got to make sure that your body's in a comfortable position, and as soon as I take the weight, I kind of tell him to only move his elbows and keep the rest of his body just in one position. Also have his elbows close together, that's what I kind of demonstrate here, and don't have him outward too much, so that his triceps are in a fully stretched position. Now again, I will let him perform the exercise. So I'll tell him here to sit down so it feels comfortable to him. And as I kind of hand him the weight, I instantly see that he is pushing his elbows out. So I kind of tell him to keep them close together, and also I tell him to go up a little more, so he's just in a better range of motion. There he kind of does it better with like a little bit of help from my side, holding those elbows together and really target the triceps here. Here I told him that his elbows are looking good now,
but reminded him that he slowly has to go down and then goes up a little faster. The joints primarily working in this exercise are the elbows with some shoulder support for stability. The elbows are flexing and extending. Agonist muscles are obviously the triceps bronchi, as they contract eccentrically as you lower the bar and concentrically as you press it back up. The biceps bronchi is the antagonist, which is kind of opposing elbow extension. Synergists, just the forearm muscles that stabilize the movement, and we're mostly on the sagittal plane using the transverse axis. So as you can already see, for this exercise I wanted to do a postural analysis. So here I kind of demonstrate him the anatomical position, and now take 3 pictures, one from the front, then I tell him to keep this same position but just turn around, take another picture from the side, and then the last one from the back side. I feel like there's a lot of things, especially in the shoulders during skull crushers, where you have to be careful and keep same position. So I thought this test was going to be appropriate for this exercise. So here you kind of can see the first picture. All the pictures I made sure I drew a line through the middle of his body. So based off the pictures from the front and the back, you can't really tell anything. The shoulders are pretty much in alignment. And from the side profile, just looking at the parts of the body for skull crushers, we can kind of see how his head is a little bit kind of lean forward. But besides that, he pretty much has a good posture.